How do I know if it started it?
Here, I'll
Oh, we
check
started it! Yay, I see us. Well,
I
this is
don't
exciting.
see, I mean, I was,
It should maybe show as like a live stream. This is obviously our first time, everyone.
okay, yes, it's there.
Okay, bueno.
Yeah, it's there.
So we're just gonna keep talking for a few minutes until our start time. But we're super excited to be here and talk about our daily business things.
We have a new, like, meeting format, so I'm not sure if it'll work out for us.
I know, I added some things this morning just to kind of regroup and see where we're at here. But I'm glad you started a new Excel because that old sheet was kind of a little cray.
I know, if only Google Docs had tabs. Like,
Right.
those
Maybe
would
it
be
does, and we just don't know. I know, because it's like then you have to go back to the drive to go to a folder,
Yeah.
and then
There's a bunch
okay.
of files within a folder.
Yeah. I like the tabs that we have. You see my Sasha notes? I created Sasha notes.
Yeah.
So, and you know, I was thinking, I'm like, man, I didn't do the branding questions that we talked about, and I was like, oh, I didn't do anything. So then I went to the list, and I was like, wait, I actually did a few things.
I feel like we naturally just like act on whatever we talked about, so that works too.
Well, then I did a super, you know how back in the day they would be like, extra credit assignments if you do this, and then you didn't really try that hard on the homework, so you're like, let me do the extra credit. So then I got the Google phone number. I was like, at least I can get the Google phone number.
Oh, you got a Google phone number?
Yeah, I just got it right now. So I was like, Sasha's gonna yell at me.
Awesome. What'd you pick?
Well, I kind of did what you did, which was I tried for an easier number.
Yeah.
That still had a Tennessee area code. Because even though it's gonna show random town, Tennessee, but
Hey, what is the zip code for you?
615.
Columbus is 614.
Oh my god!
That is so weird.
That's awesome. I mean, I wonder how that works. Like,
That is so weird.
that is very interesting. Wait, what was your number again?
For
Google Voice.
oh yeah, it's 500 3117, I think.
500
3117. 614, obviously the area code.
500 3117.
Yeah.
I found a really cool number that was 615 and then 3070705.
Oh, that is cool.
I was like, okay, easy numbers.
Yeah, I love all the odds too. That's cool.
Oh, okay, it's 11. So, or it's 12. I mean, 12 for you, 11 for me.
Yeah.
But, hello, welcome to our Twitch. This is Sasha and the cat. This is Sasha on the other screen right there. And I'm Cat, short for Cat Leia, the cat. And if you don't know anything about us, we are best friends that live in different cities. We both used to live in Miami, but now she lives in Columbus, ish. Where do you live now? Ish, around that area. And I'm in Nashville, or Hermitage to be more exact. And we both have our own businesses, at one point side businesses, at one point main businesses, multiple other side hustles. And we wanted to do a Twitch stream to kind of just elevate our weekly business chats because we talk all the time anyway to catch up and make sure that we're both on track with what we're doing. And then we find ourselves talking to other people and saying the same thing. So we're like, okay, well, why don't you guys just join us, and you can ask whatever questions you want, and hopefully also maybe this is your lunchtime or you're also working on your own business or side hustle, and you're like, I just need some company or someone to ask questions while I'm working. So hopefully we're here to entertain you and help you. And maybe you also, maybe we're working on something that you're also working on, and you're like, oh, I have insight on this, or, I could really use this information too. We are not these crazy experts. We're also trying to figure it out, and maybe that's good for you too, because you're like, I'm also trying to figure it out, and I don't want to pay some crazy business consultant where they don't understand where I'm coming from, because this is just my side hustle, or I'm just focusing on this, or it's 2020 and those rules don't apply anymore. So, yeah, that's us. Oh, she's getting a call because she's also fixing her car up right now. So, also, if this may work for you guys too, because we're super busy people, and I feel like that's a common 2020 thing where everyone's working on 17 different things, and maybe if you have a main job, 2 main jobs, like Sasha is working on Botana Bites, which is her mini muffin business, and she's also in grad school. She also does Instacart. She does graphic design on Upwork. So she's like all over the place. So this is why this meeting is also really helpful, because it kind of just puts everything together, and we're like, okay, where are we at right now? And then for me, I'm working on the Kits and Pieces, which is an online party kit store. And so I'm working heavily. That's my main hustle now. At one point, it's been a side hustle. At one point, it wasn't even a hustle, and I was just trying to make an Instagram account and make crafts for people. So that's kind of our thing. But we're just gonna jump right into it, because Sasha only has an hour today because she has class. Typical Sasha life.
Okay, so do you want to get started? That was a great answer, by the way, and I was like listening as I was on the phone, just to like.
Yes. And then, sorry, we're hopefully going to be doing these every Monday at 12 p.m. Today is Tuesday because, this just happened to be this way. But normally it's going to be Mondays. Sorry. So go ahead, Sasha.
Anyway, so it worked out.
Perfect. Do it. Tell me what you got.
Okay. I think we kind of talked about this over the phone, but ads, and I sent you that video on Google Ads, because I guess it's like way more complex than Facebook or Instagram. But I guess, and you told me Etsy ads are pretty successful, but what is your experience with like Facebook or IG ads?
So Facebook or IG ads, I will say. Oh, my mom is on. This is exciting. Hi, Mom. All the way from Thailand. I'm also monitoring the chat while we go. But Facebook ads, from what I learned from Chris's dad, who is an amazing business person. I know. I think that one is much more approachable, especially like if you're not really the craziest ad person. Both of them, Facebook and Google, can just eat your money up if you're not monitoring it. So both of them will do that. It's like you're at the casino and you're like, wow, this is so cool, and then you're out $1,000. But Facebook ads, I feel like it's much more, it's like that in between Instagram ad and Google ad, where you can like target who you want, and there's like a whole campaign around it, and you can do like ads and ad sets within it, within a campaign kind of thing. The only thing is the setup is a little bit tricky, which I think it is for Google too, where you need something called Facebook Pixel. Have you heard of that? I didn't know what that was until a couple weeks ago.
Like I have, but not much.
Basically, it's just like a little, like a tag, right? That we said, and you're tagging that link to go to your ad so that when people click on it, you know what's happening to it. So that setup is a little complicated in the beginning just because you have to make sure it links to every single page on your website or whatever it is that you're trying to do. And then there's ways to improve that tracking, because you're not just tracking if people clicked on it. What you really want to know is who's really interested in this, right? Because I can click on an ad and not be that interested. So some people have landing pages, which I'm still working on now for my pages, which all of this doesn't even exist for Etsy. Etsy is like the easiest one. So, but anyway, Facebook.
Like Etsy, and then Instagram for beginners, and then like Facebook's intermediate, and then Google's like expert level.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's not so much the setup, it's the maintenance, like I told you. Like, you can set it up, you spend a whole day setting it up, and if you never look at it again, you're going to be out $500 and no one's going to buy anything. So
it's almost like you're paying for like a class on how to do ads, because you're like finding the best way to do them right. Even if you're not making sales initially, you're like fine-tuning the process to see like what eventually will lead to a sale, because there's a lot of like tinkering.
You love
Because
tinkering.
I'm always like afraid of losing all the money that I'm putting into ads, so I don't even do it because I'm like, oh no, I don't want to lose everything. But I guess you're like paying for the experience and like the tinkering process,
right,
in order to like fine tune it and get more sales.
And if you do it right, though, you will spend the money, but you won't waste the money.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like, okay, if I spend $500 and I make $3,000, at least I'm making something back from that, you know.
Like the Google ad video I sent you, he had mentioned that he has looked into like A/B ads or like A/B split ads or something weird. I don't know. I wanted to look into it more, but it almost sounded like a formula of how to like run ads so that you're kind of just like figuring out which one works best. Almost like having like a control group and then like 2 experimental groups.
Yeah.
Seeing which one like works out best. So I mean, that's a good way to approach, I guess, starting ads in general, is like not just putting out one and hoping it does well and just like targeting a huge audience, but like kind of maybe choosing 3 ads, each one with a different target audience that are like smaller niches, and then like seeing which one gives you the best results.
It's definitely a science experiment. I mean, that's honestly what I've gathered from it, because I mean, I wish we would have done that in science. That would have helped a lot.
Science and business would be so connected.
Yeah, so, and then you should like, I guess, you would only change one variable to make sure that you're, monitoring correctly. But I mean, our first ad that we put out, it was like 40 million people can see this. And then his dad was like, that's a ton of people. No, not that many people should be seeing it. I mean, I guess like for awareness, maybe that's good. But so then there's awareness and then there's conversion. Like maybe awareness, you're trying to like amp up something, which I feel like right now is not as relevant for you.
Like gain following.
Right. Or like you're going to come out with a product that's not out yet.
Oh, like a launch.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like if you were coming out with a new flavor for Banana Bites, that would be good. But then again, even if you're doing pre-orders, that's not an awareness anymore. Like,
right. There was also like in the video I was looking at for Google ads, so I don't know if this is true for Facebook or not, but he was saying that if you just type in like a keyword or key phrase, it'll be like very broad and general to where anyone that types in those words will pull up like your ad. But you can get more specific by putting parentheses or brackets. And parentheses, I think, were just like the person has to type in exactly that phrase or something. Or even if they type in that phrase plus a couple words, it'll still show up. But the brackets were like they have to type only that in to the search engine. So it's a good way to see like what specific keywords or phrases people are using that like directly to your ad, and kind of like streamlining or like making your target audience a little bit smaller because they have to type in exactly that phrase, which I thought was really cool. Like, I don't think that's like a common knowledge thing.
I definitely think that's really cool, but then you have to really know what they're looking for. Like,
It's
I
risky.
can't just put engagement party props and people are gonna search engagement party props. Like, it has to be like pink and silver. She said yes. Like, very
I think
specific.
he was mainly saying like in the tracking process of seeing what works best for that ad, it helps if you have the brackets because you know like those specific phrases are linked to, you know, X amount of viewers or whatever.
Right, and then that's the thing with Facebook that I do like is that you're still specific like that. That's a Google thing, right? The brackets.
Yeah, that was for Google. So I don't know if it's true for other stuff. I would assume it is because it almost sounds like an HTML type thing, like just include.
There's definitely ways to get advanced, like in your ads, but that's why I like Facebook too, because even if you're not like this most specific, like that specific, it's still specific enough where you're not just sending it to Joe Schmo. Instagram is decent, like where you can like make it targeted, but not like that is. See, but that's why I like Etsy. I mean, that only works if you're selling on Etsy, right? But it just goes by your tags. It solely goes by your tags, honestly.
Yeah, I think that's, and it's almost like I view Etsy like another Amazon, except it's just for different types of things and people. So I feel like you already have access to like a wide audience of people that are purchasing. Right. On Facebook and Instagram, it's people that are browsing or just like logging in for whatever reason. They're not necessarily there to make a purchase. Right. So I think like you're approaching different people already.
Yeah, that's like the hard thing about Facebook is they're not there to look, but then it's also, if they are looking, you gotta be like people who go on Etsy are not only looking, they're looking for handmade items or unique items, which fits, you know, us. So that's like another category filtered without us having to think about it. Did you put out the Facebook ad?
No.
It's okay.
I kind of like I tinkered with like Instagram ads or like promoting a post, through Instagram. I don't know if it's the same thing or not. Because it was so easy. I was like, this is
that's the thing though. Promoting a post, okay, according to Chris and the Social Dilemma. Okay, because there's like categories of people. Like when you promote a post, only the people who are more likely to like a photo will see that. That doesn't, it's like a different category for people who take action or whatever. So yeah, it's easy, but it's easy for awareness. So I feel like I was interested. I wanted to promote my giveaway post because I was like, oh, more people will see it. That's really all I care about. Or yeah, if it has a ton of likes, maybe people will enter the giveaway. But yeah, or like if you have, for example, like our Twitch today, if we wanted to post about that and promote it, maybe at least people will see it and like it, but ideally we want people who care about this.
I mean, and purchases. So I feel like the Instagram like post boosting isn't really gonna convert into sales. It's probably just gonna, like you said, just be like awareness for like a following maybe, but not really.
Right. Well, Chris promoted a post and for his studio thing, and normally I feel like he gets like 30 likes, and this was like 200 likes. Yay, no new followers.
Yeah. Yeah, that's lame.
Lame. Okay, so.
Okay, that covers ads. I want to ask you if you plan on like putting your kits and pieces or just the kits on Amazon.
I know, you mentioned that before, and I guess my thing is, it's like getting things started, like we said, is easy, but then monitoring, like I feel like I just don't have time.
Yeah.
Like I did my Upwork thing,
Oh yeah.
And then I'm like, I haven't sent any proposals. I need to send proposals.
Yeah, that's the easy part.
Yes, but it needs to be done.
Yeah. Like you can just do it from your phone. Like you can just be sitting in bed, like just sending proposals.
I know.
Oh my god, this coffee's so hot.
Are you drinking coffee or tea?
It's a green tea latte with pumpkin flavoring.
Wait, let me see your tattoo.
It hurt so bad, and I literally woke up because it was hurting, and I like couldn't even sleep. That part.
Oh my god.
But then, oh, I can't really show it. The flower is like swollen.
They only filled in one?
So she did that one, and then she did the shading in this one, and then she did some of the red.
Ooh, the red.
But my skin started bleeding so much that the ink, it was like pushing the ink out, so she couldn't continue doing it. So she was just like, we're gonna have to finish another day because your skin's not good at all.
How much?
Like when they fill in color, they literally, it's like they have like a bunch of needles on the end of the gun, and they like scrape to color. So I feel like it's a little more trauma to your skin than just like a needle-like line.
Right.
So I put my skin over it. And then like because she did this side first, like all the leaves, I then had to put my arm down on the armrest so she could work on the inside of my arm. So it was like a fresh open, wound against the surface. So I literally stopped her and I was like, my arm is burning. Like it's so bad. Like this side was hurting more than her tattooing on the other side. So she tried to put ointment on it, but I think because my arm was now like, you're putting a wound on the surface, it just was not cooperating. So, yeah. Little note on tattoos.
I can't believe I also thought that was like a fake tattoo, and then you're like, no, I'm getting it filled in. What?
I thought you too, because I think I saw you like a week after I had gotten the first session done, like with the line work.
Well, I thought it was still like an existing henna. Okay. So yeah, Amazon, I feel like I want to do it, but I want to sell more. I feel like Etsy I can handle,
Yeah.
And because I'm not a seller at all on Amazon, so I need to do that whole.
I think what you like about Amazon though is like, or what I'm envisioning, is you could just set up your shop, post the photos, put the descriptions in, and then just wait and see if people find it through there. But it's like such a large audience of people that I feel like it would help just random people find your kits.
I know, it would help. And I've seen some people add their stuff to Amazon. Side note, my mom loves your mask. Yeah, that Chris guy, paying for likes, no followers. So, sorry, what were we saying? That, what are we talking about? Amazon, yes. So, yeah, I saw someone I know who's a chef, and he just put his sauce on Amazon. But then I'm like, okay, do you know how many things I've had to sign up in the last month for? Like, this.
Take a break and then, like, reevaluate it.
I'm like, okay, I signed up for Upwork. Okay, now I redid my Etsy. Okay, now I'm on Twitch. Like,
I know.
Started doing live stories, and I'm like, what are we even doing? Spent so much time signing up. The amount of bios I've written.
Yeah, I totally get it.
I'm like, I'm over talking about myself. So.
Posting this to,
we are.
I should have probably put our name. What about your side of the meeting topics?
Ooh, Upwork is on my side too. I mean, I didn't write it, but it's always on my side. I'm gonna write it right now. So definitely one of my big goals this week is to get going on my Upwork. And we talked a little bit about that, but Upwork is great.
Oh,
Viewers, especially my father. Upwork is so great. If you're not on it and you are a creative, or not even a creative, if you're into like data science, if you're into, SEO or whatever it is that you're good at, Upwork is great. Unlike Fiverr, not to rag on Fiverr, but nobody uses that. Just saying. Do your research. Okay, so Upwork is on my goals for this week. I went live for the first time, so we reached some social media goals that we set for last week.
Yeah, we did.
Both of us, yeah.
Plan to. It's good that we have these weekly meetings, because I think even if we don't fully address the same stuff throughout the week, we manifested it. We talked about it in real time on Mondays. Today's Tuesday, but we're not going.
Well, yeah, it's also one thing to write it down or think it, but then when we say it, especially to another person, because we be saying things to ourselves too.
Did I tell you that I noticed I'm so much more focused or productive when I talk to myself when I talk to you? Because I feel like you told me that you do that. Maybe I noticed you did that when I lived with you. But it's very helpful.
It is helpful to say it. I'm not gonna say saying it to yourself is the best thing.
I'll literally I'll have 5 things on my mind, and if I'm home by myself, I'll just have to out loud be okay, make tea, or open my computer, start this thing.
Open your
and
computer.
then once I say it, I'm focused. Whereas before, it's just a nightmare. So I feel like it helps.
But you do have a lot of things going on. I've noticed that I get distracted. I get distracted with people because I love people.
Yeah.
So then Chris, when he's not home, I'll be like, okay, I gotta do this, blah 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 blah. And Chris comes home, and then I'm like, woo, okay.
Yeah.
And I just stop doing whatever I was doing, and then I'll have to be like, no, make dinner. You're going to make.
We need to eat.
Defrost the chicken now.
You haven't eaten though.
Yeah, you haven't eaten. No, because then he comes home, okay, whatever, and then he'll start doing, he's like, oh, I'm working, blah, 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 and then he doesn't eat either, and then we're like, okay, we need to eat. I put the dinner in front of him yesterday, and he's still like.
I had to put eat in my Google Calendar. Because otherwise I just won't think of it, but then I'll be like, oh my god, I have a migraine, or I feel like shit. I wonder why. Probably because I haven't had any protein.
Yeah, it is a real thing. So, okay, the going live thing / stories. I've been a lot more active on my stories this week, and you're pretty active on your stories, but I should say more interactive. Because I posted stuff, whatever, but this week, I was really engaging, with the Halloween costume poll and the live video yesterday, the unboxing, and just a note to our viewers, we are not social media people. So this right here, being on social media, on our stories, it needed to be a list, an item on our list, because we hate it.
Yep. I've struggled with it for years.
It's
but
what?
We're finally saying no more. I said we've struggled with it for years.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
In terms of being more public or expressive or open.
Yeah. And I feel we always thought people were just so good at it.
Yeah.
And I mean, some people are, man.
But I mean, I read an article a while back that was saying to help engage with posting on stories, you have to include polls or quizzes or one of those things, just because people like to put stuff, answer things, and I don't know.
Yeah, and I think
Instagram has all these options of doing that.
I think also I guess for me when I was little, people weren't really openly into crafting. So I just grew up always kind of like, I mean, people knew that I would be like the party girl or whatever, costumes, but I wasn't trying to like make a what?
Oh, wait, I have to put my costume back on.
I wasn't trying to like make a hustle out of it or whatever. So when I grew up, I just like didn't know how to put it on display because it was always kind of like on the side or just not very, like, I thought Michael's was gonna go out of business when I was little.
Why?
Because I was just like, no one was in there, like, unless it was Christmas time.
Yeah.
And now it's like popping.
That's true.
So I guess I just didn't know how to like talk about it. Like, I thought no one would care about an unboxing, and I know that's a trend now, but when I was doing it, I thought it was cool, and I knew what was in the box.
No, it was super cool. And again, like, even if people aren't watching it live, they're still seeing it later on or whenever they do come across it. Like,
Yeah.
for anyone that goes to your page now, it's just there.
Yeah.
But I also feel like part of what made me okay with like expressing more on social media was just doing it for myself. Whereas before, I was like constantly questioning like what others would think of what I was going to post or say, or like if it was too annoying, or like, I don't know.
Right.
And I finally was just like, F it. I believed it. And just kind of do it for myself, to have it as like a platform that I'm like gaining something, learning something from, or building a community with. Because before I would go on it and just be like drained from it because it didn't do anything for me. Like, nothing on it was that interesting. So I started following like more like doctors and like people in functional medicine and more acupuncturists and people that are like related to my field, just to like gain more knowledge and like information from actual professionals, instead of only seeing like my friends and their lives, which I do care about, but it's like not helping me.
Right. So now I noticed that too. So on my personal account, I'll follow more, or I'll keep up with more of my friends. And then when I go to the Kits and Pieces, it's like, yes, I care about my friends, but it's also like I need to know what's happening.
Yeah.
In the world.
I think like after I watched The Social Dilemma, I was just like, okay. I mean, I already did most of what was mentioned in terms of like turning off the notifications and like kind of finding a way to minimize how much they like try to pull you into their trap. But I was thinking to myself, like, how could I make this more of a tool?
Yes. Yeah.
And I think when I like really thought about that, I was just like, okay, I'm going to take this seriously, because it is like a game that they're playing on us. You know what I mean? Like, it's ridiculous.
If you haven't seen The Social Dilemma on Netflix, you need to watch The Social Dilemma.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think it was interesting because it made me see the app differently and like what to kind of put out there, and just made me like tap in more into like what makes me feel authentic or what makes me feel like better.
I think also with your field, I mean, I feel like across all fields it should be like that, but especially yours, because she's in wellness, and she's gonna be an acupuncturist in a few months.
I know, it's kind of like healthcare. I mean, it's
healthcare, but it's also wellness.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a little different than healthcare, right, Mom?
Yeah.
But that's where it's like, okay, well, you have to be there, and I want to see you and like your, your best self, whether or not it's, maybe you don't feel that great. Like, we want to see how you get better and all that. Like, yeah. I feel like you can't just be like, life is a party, whereas my life is a party. But even, okay, so then, sorry, back to the story thing and a little bit about the ads part, where once I started doing ads, I realized it was like, we know in our minds what we think of it, what we want it to look like, where we want it to go, but nobody understands that. And we can't even say it in the way that makes sense to us. I feel like we have to say it in the way that makes sense to them, that gives the message, right, that we want it to give. So I learned that a lot from ads. And then that helped me with the stories, where it was like, well, yeah. So basically for the costume thing, I was just going to post my costume when I figured it out, and like 2 days before Halloween, because before, the transparency thing wasn't as big of a deal, right? It was almost cool where you didn't show how you did it and you just posted it. Here I am, my cool ass costume that nobody knows how I made it. But now this is like, oh, I want to see your thought process. And for those of you who didn't see my Halloween costume poll, it's on the Kits and Pieces, and it's on a highlight right at the beginning there. But
Huh? This is even a big topic or a big deal, is because Kat like hand makes all of her costumes. She doesn't just go online and buy a freaking costume. Like she like makes the costume. She was
which
like
a lot of people
1 year, which is like a concept. You know what I mean? Like what's a thunderstorm, and she owns that.
Okay, but a lot of people do that too. And there's this girl that I follow, and she's doing 31 days of Halloween costumes. And I'm like, man, first of all, how does this girl have time to do that? Does she freaking own like a costume warehouse? Like, she has all these wigs and crazy costume like pieces, accessories. Okay.
That's crazy.
Because I'm here, like, I chose the costume, but yeah, that's my costume. I'm not wearing 30 costumes this month.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Like, were you planning since January? So, a lot of people do it, but that's where I was like, okay, well, why am I gonna just post, my mom, welcome to the world of healthcare, that's to you. Hello, not Mrs. Ruiz, welcome. So, yeah, I feel like, okay, so then I decided to be like, well, why don't I just let the people answer, even if my answer, which was not the answer, oh, if you can talk a little louder and closer, or at least closer. Okay, you don't have to be louder, you're in the
I don't know if
Starbucks.
it'll help. It's this coffee shop.
I can hear you, just I'll try not to talk over you.
Next time I'll be at home, so.
Okay, next time she'll be at home. This was impromptu. So, okay, so I decided to post it, whatever. And even if I was going to choose Billie Eilish as my costume, which was one of the options that did not win, I was like, well, let's just see what the people think. And I honestly didn't think anyone would answer. Especially on my Kits and Pieces one, because I haven't really been engaging. I just post things, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it was like a whole party. I was like having so much fun. It also, like you said, it wasn't draining. I was like, oh, this is so fun. Like, people are actually answering.
It was for you. Like, you needed an answer, but you also wanted to, like, involve people that you know and that, like, can relate to you. I think it helps, too, because we're using our personal accounts to do this. So it's, like, people we've known for a while and people that, like, just know us.
Yeah.
So they really understand.
I also thought, too, because it's, like, the Kits and Pieces, I always post, like, banners and props and the things that I make, but let's say you're following me and you may know me, but you don't really necessarily associate the Kits and Pieces with me, but you see my face on it now, then you're like, oh, yeah, this is her. Okay, but then the thing was, so when I did the poll, the point of this story is when I didn't do the poll, sorry, my posts on Instagram on the Kits and Pieces, generally, I mean, if it's a whatever post, it'll get like 20 likes. And then if it's a picture of me, maybe like 50 likes. Just very, whatever, right? I'm still growing it. Okay. But then I posted the story, and 80 people watched the poll thing. And yeah, I mean, that's not like the freaking, turn of the century trend here.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's significantly more than people that are liking my posts. And so that's where I was kind of like, well, let me do the live thing, because maybe, whatever, no one's going to watch it now, but
yeah.
Anyway, so.
I was going to say something about that. No.
So, okay, so the next topic we have here. Sorry, I lost the thing. Okay.
No, wait, I was going to say something.
Oh, sorry.
I don't remember what it related to, though, but I thought it was a thing to mention. Oh, it was how you were saying, like when you create an ad or whatever it is, like you have to think of how the other person's going to receive it and how they're going to do it. And I think that's part of what's difficult with like doing your own stuff as an entrepreneur. Because when you're creating it, you know the product and you know what you want to convey to the people.
Mm-hmm.
Every inch of what you want to convey to the people.
Yeah.
But then you also have to put yourself in the opposite person's shoes and think, okay, what are they going to see from this or gain from this, or what's going to make them want to play or make them want to compete over other people, whatever. But then since you're in your industry, you also know like what other people have done and like you're doing this with people. It's like both ends of the spectrum. Like the viewers of the post and the creator of the post.
Wait, you're cutting out a little bit. Come a little closer to your. You don't have to talk louder. Just come closer to the camera.
Closer?
Yes. If it makes you feel better, I'll come closer too, so you don't feel like your head is huge.
Oh. So, I think that's what helps. That maybe you're in different industries, like how we talked about, because then you can see it from an outside perspective, and I think yours from an outside perspective.
So yes, so just to kind of repeat what Sasha said in case you couldn't hear, was that because we're in different industries, she thinks that it helps when it comes to us kind of seeing our product from an outside point of view, which I do agree with, because like you said, if you're in the industry, yeah, like I'm looking at other people's crafting businesses and, you know, whether they make little dolls or little shirts, whatever, pins and bows for babies. But again, that's such a niche world. Like if you look at your wellness and acupuncture world, it's like this big. Like this.
But to me, it's huge.
But to you, it's yeah, because also our entire Instagram thing is only that, you know. And I follow event planners and all this.
It's easier to feel like jaded or kind of just like, oh, this is just another one of those posts. When to an outsider, it would be like, oh wow, I didn't know this or whatever.
Right. So then that's where we have to think, because I was trying so hard focusing on the unique part of my kits, which I still internally, you know, is the purpose of what I'm doing, because I'm trying not to do the unicorn themes and all that. Oh, we have a question. Is there an ASMR opportunity in acupuncture? Like if you filmed a session.
I like that question. I don't know what would be included in the ASMR because there's not really sound, you know what I mean? Like when you poke someone with a needle.
What is an ASMR?
I don't know what it stands for, but it's those videos where people are like basically speaking into the microphone. Like you can hear every single like sound of like them whispering or speaking or cracking a chip, like whatever it is.
Autonomous sensory meridian response. Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, well then I only know it in the context of like a video of it. So I don't know how it would be with applying needles to someone. That's really interesting though.
We can figure that out.
I've heard of, and like some people will listen to ASMR to like fall asleep and stuff, because it's like it's almost kind of like binaural beats, where like the way the sounds are received in the brain just helps you relax depending on what you're listening to. But it's also just like I don't know, very detailed sound. So I don't know how it would work with acupuncture because there's not really a sound other than like the calming music in the background.
Could you combine like a almost sort of like a sound healing aspect too?
Right. Yeah.
Interesting. Thank you for that question, not Mrs. Ruiz. If we didn't say we'd have the answers. We didn't say we'd have the answers, but we will entertain your questions.
Oh, totally. That was a great question. That's gonna keep my brain like all day like.
No, that's awesome. Well, maybe next time you'll have an answer for her or him, because they're not Mrs. Ruiz. I don't know who it is.
Hey.
I wonder if that's Tammy. Is that Tammy?
No, this is Ruiz. It's gotta be someone from high school.
Where's Tammy? She said she would come. It's okay. Wait, how do I go back? Man, I'm learning this. I'm learning this Twitch thing right now. But yes, feel free to ask more questions.
Expand on the ASMR stuff, like what they meant.
How do I get out of this?
What do you mean?
Hello. Chris Croce, if you're watching, we need assistance. So, sorry. Okay, I don't know what just happened there. I can't see my chat again. Sorry. Okay, what's our next topic here? Oh, and again, just to reiterate, because it's our first time, the purpose of this is also for you guys to ask questions. So if you guys have any business ideas, you are in need of a logo, you don't know, oh, Chris Coach is here. You need advice, or you just want to listen, and that's fine too, but feel free to ask any questions. How do I get this out of here? Like, I can't see the chat anymore. Okay, so what's next on our topic? Okay, so just want to touch on this really quickly. We're big fans. I can't see my thing because he's switching it. But one of the topics that we have is extracurriculars, and I just wanted to note that for any entrepreneurs out there that are trying to figure it out, make sure you give time for yourself. What was that? A dance. Well,
for some reason it reset the chat when
yeah,
I
weird.
But here, you can keep this popped out so that way.
Okay. Sorry, our chat went away for some reason. And so, yes, always do something for yourself. So I started hip hop classes last week. Especially working from home. I guess the main point is if you're working from home, or even if you're in a coffee shop like Sasha. I mean, Sasha's super active because she has a ton of activities, but she also exercises and she does yoga. She was even doing yoga certificate training. So anyway, yeah, I started hip hop classes last week and I'm going again today. I am not in that community.
But next week, will you show us the moves?
Yes, next week I will be showing you the moves. Okay, so I went to a really complicated class, which I told Sasha about. I've never done hip hop dancing. I went to the wrong class. I mean, it said open to all levels. It was not open to all levels. So I went to an easier class, like a beginner class, and it was better. But anyway, I went to Asheville last week for a couple of days because I had just been working like straight for days and days in a row, and all I was thinking of was like ads and stories, and it was just like I couldn't think of anything new because I'd just been working so much. So after the break though, I felt so much better, and like all these ideas were coming while I was like walking around in a pumpkin patch, and so it's definitely worth it. We have another question, we have another comment from Not Mrs. Ruiz about your ASMR, which is, I think it could be, Sasha doesn't have it open, so I'm going to read it to her, but she will next time, so I don't have to read it to her. I think it could be like a visual ASMR, like how some people like seeing the pimple popping videos. It could be satisfying to watch the needles. Oh, that's true.
Oh my god, I'm so glad I brought that up, because the other day I shadowed an acupuncturist, and she like specializes in sports medicine, so they use like really long needles and thicker needles because it's more focused on like muscles. So you can get deeper into like the belly of the muscle and have like a more response, I guess. It's like some sugar points and stuff, but as I was watching her needle, I was like, I just love watching the needle go in someone's skin. Like, And I connected it to how people like watching pimple popping. And I was like, it's similar. I feel like it's in a similar thing.
I think pimple popping is way
it's way grosser, right? But it's like that detailed, focused, like
cringy
gratification that you just did something like that helped, or just like you got rid of something. And I guess whenever I saw her like put the needles in pieces, I was just like, oh yes. And I realized too, like even when the pandemic was happening and I wasn't able to needle and stuff, I like missed it so much, and I was like, what do I miss about it? And it's just, I don't know. It's I think it's kind of connected to what I mentioned about like pimple popping. So yeah, I think that's a good idea. So I guess it's like a detailed video of a needle going and just coming to the end. And I guess I could even see like if I put like a little microphone close to it, like if it was sound, I don't know, like
That's so gross.
I'm getting real into it.
My mom would watch that. My mom.
Just be the person being like, oh.
She used to love like pimple popping, so she would be like, "It's a procedure."
No, I think it'd be cool to like see the needle going into like in slow motion.
And actually, I mean, that is not gross. It's honestly not gross to watch that. It's like a little bit like you feel like this prickly thing when you're watching it, but I would watch that.
I think it feels relaxing.
Okay, to you guys.
Oh my god, I'm so gonna do it.
In that community.
I'm putting this as like my project for the week. Hold on,
Yay, you just made it to her project for the week.
Not mystery. I feel like I know who that is, but I'm not.
That would be cool. This is so funny that you say that because I watched this Tony's Nails. And he like does nail art, well like insane nail art with like gems and stuff. And it's so relaxing to me to watch.
Yeah. I feel like anything in detail is relaxing because that's like what meditation is. Like you're focusing so much on whatever you're doing at the present moment that it's like all that exists. So it's like very grounding.
Yeah, very grounding. Yeah, I like it. All right. Well, thanks for that. And let us see here. So something I wanted to finalize too was we need to do our branding shoot. So so for those of you who don't know, we're planning Sasha and I are planning a little trip to Louisville. And we're looking for Airbnbs to basically, I have 3 Christmas kits and I want to do a photo shoot of that. But this house is getting a little cray-cray, so I really want to have a fun photo shoot doing those 3. But I also need help, and it is a lot to try to do in a few days, especially 3 different decorations. There, but also we wanted to take the opportunity to work on our branding, meaning maybe helping each other do some interviews of our companies. And Sasha has a couple things going on where she's doing Panda Bites, which is the mini muffins, but also kind of building her acupuncture portfolio so that when she graduates, she's got something going. So we're thinking of doing some interviews. So that, and I think we might be in Louisville for a Monday live stream, so that'll be exciting.
That's so true. That would be great.
So after this, I'm gonna send you some top 3 Airbnbs in Louisville.
Okay, I put it there.
We'll show you next time what we find. Man, in Asheville, we stayed in an Airbnb, and the pictures were great, right? And the Airbnb was great. But when we were driving there, I was like, we're in the middle. It's not the middle of nowhere. It was like a farm or something, and it had like this 4 like Airbnbs just like in the middle of the grass. This field, and behind it were like a row of like storage warehouses, like ABC storage or something. And that was it. It was just all green, and I was like, I'm either gonna get murdered here. Or like, is this part of like their 5 acres and they're like, we need to do something with that acre over there? Like,
right? I feel like Airbnbs have expanded so much in like what they offer. Like, we've stayed in so many different ones too. Even like I remember that one we stayed in Baltimore that was literally just an apartment that had like 2 or 3 bedrooms in that apartment, and each bedroom was rented out as an Airbnb.
Oh,
It was like
and
one
it was
night.
like this like one hallway to get through. Yeah, that was in DC.
Okay. Did we also stay in Baltimore? Why am I thinking Baltimore?
Well, we flew into Baltimore,
Yeah.
and we had to take a bus that we missed twice to DC.
Oh my god.
What an adventure! What an adventure! I feel like we could talk about our travel adventures another time because those are some great things there. And then, so speaking of, oh, I found an article which I'm gonna post now in the chat. You're on the chat too, right? But just under your name. Can you see it?
I don't have it open right now. Yeah, wait.
So I found this.
I don't know how to make this thing. Okay, I'm in the chat, but I don't see it. I think it's because
You don't see anything from anyone? Oh, well, I'm gonna post something now. 2020 trends. So, you see that?
Yeah.
So I was reading that article. I mean, it's super pop culture, but it was interesting to see the trends. And I think that was, when was that written? I think it was a little older. Does it say when it was written? Excuse me. Nope. Okay, so whatever. This article is basically detailing the culture of 2020, and it was interesting for me. Like some of the things you're kind of like, oh, cool, whatever. But like the new A-list celebrity is now all these like, you know, all these lo-fi chill people. Especially like Billie Eilish being the pop version of that, but what?
It makes you feel good.
It makes you feel good?
Yeah.
I know! I was like, weren't we these people like freaking years ago? But whatever. Okay. So then the earthy neutrals is the color of this year. And but I mean, I feel like this is a little dated. Obviously, we're in October, but it's so interesting to see that they called these trends, and I mean, that's exactly where it went.
Yeah.
So, Gen Z rock the vote. I mean, that's obviously more important now than ever. Plant-based meats go mainstream. I mean, Chipotle was doing the sofrita thing. Sofritas.
Now on top, zero proof drinks.
Dude, okay, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. Okay, whatever, the it back. Okay, but zero proof drinks. But now I went to some of those websites and they make non-alcoholic type drinks, but like, you know, it's like a mojito, but non-alcoholic.
I just like a smoothie.
Can you just have a smoothie?
Yeah.
I know, but then I think some of these are like health based too, where like it's just like without the alcohol. I guess there's still the sugar.
I just think it's funny how like this thing has been like a category, like a trend, you know what I mean? Well, really, it's something so simple. Juice. Just.
Wait, you're cutting out. Say that again. I lost you. Hello. No, come back. Okay, you're back.
I am.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah, you're back.
Okay. I was saying that it's basically just juice, but people have to have like a trendy like catchphrase or term to like everything.
I mean, that's the Gen Z way. Okay, there's also one though. Did you see number 8? Throwback TBT worthy hairstyles. That hairstyle with the mullets will never be in for me. I'm sorry. You will not catch me in a mullet. Ever. I don't care. But the number 9 is living for live streaming workouts. So I thought, I don't know, I thought that was kind of cool because you said that you wanted to do more yoga videos.
Yeah.
And I feel like people care about that now because they're all at home and
Right.
so we had this conversation, viewers, that you know, for the hip hop classes, we were entertaining virtual versus going out and doing it. And then Sasha wanted to go with a virtual way. I mean, we don't even live in the same city, so it doesn't matter. But and I was going with the real way because for me, I need to be around an environment. Otherwise, I just kind of like give up. Like
Yeah.
I can't go to the gym because I don't have the self motivation to get
Right.
through being on the treadmill or the cycle or whatever. So, and I'm a big dance class person because I like to have an objective. What did I get out of this, even if it's a 12-second routine? So, and then, but I thought it was cool that Sasha chose the online version, but she also does yoga, so that's.
I think, yeah, and I think for you too, like you're more extroverted, so being in like the group class would make you feel like more like pumped up and like ready.
Well,
Versus-
also, with hip hop, something I learned was that you gotta commit. You know, you can't like fake do the moves because I was not fake doing the moves, but I was doing the moves, but I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't be like into it, you know? I can't be like,
Yes.
I'm gonna freaking dance right here. But once I like got into it, I did like an out of body experience thing where I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna get into it. I'm gonna pretend I'm not Cat Leia. I don't know these people anyway.
I feel like it's like you acting, or like you kind of have to tap into like a performance aspect of like your personality whenever you do hip hop because you have to be so like expressive in every movement, and it also has to go with the music, so it's like a performance.
Right, and then if you don't do that, then the moves, it's not like ballet where the moves are so articulate. I mean, the moves are articulate, but it's not so extravagant because ballet moves are made so that you look beautiful when you reach the completion
And
of the
like
move.
poised, yeah.
But here, yeah, like super poised. But here, it's like the move is, for example, the move is this.
But it's really like this.
Yeah, you gotta like, if you don't do it, then you're just like, you know?
Like a puppet.
And then, okay, so number 10 was celebrity podcast explosion, which I think that did happen. Cracking down on single-use plastics. Okay, this was one of my favorite ones, and this is going to be probably the end of our thing right now, this article. But there is kids' toys get inclusive, which I really liked. But when you go to the page that's number 12, it's the Wait, don't you have class?
Oh, 115. I'm just gonna do it here.
Oh, it's online?
Yeah.
Okay. So, we'll be done in a second. But the kids' toys get inclusive. So, the Barbies, there's gender neutral Barbies now. And that was actually going to be one of the things on my Halloween costume list where I like show. If you look at number 12 on the article, it shows a picture. It's like a white line, and then it's like half gender neutral and half a different type of gender neutral.
What does that even mean? What is like?
You just look at the picture.
I can't say much
Next
about
time I'll be able to screen share. But so
What happens with being a human? Like,
I don't know. Some of these gender neutral outfits are pretty interesting. Oh wow! And Lego will launch a collection of bricks designed to help children learn Braille. That's interesting. Oh my gosh! And Uno, Mattel, recently released its first Braille deck of Uno cards.
what?
Okay, next. This is more relevant to you. Sipping on CBD. That's a new thing now. There's these CBD gummies, chocolates. We knew that, but now there's like these sodas or something.
Yeah, they have a lot of drinks too now, like in stores that are like teas, but they have CBD added, or like I don't know, they have a lot of different options now.
The CBD infused beverage industry is predicted to be worth more than 1.4 billion by 2024, which it was only 89 million 2 years ago.
That's crazy.
So that's a lot of billions. And a lot of people are trying to step away from the screen. That's funny because now we're on the screen. But this one is what I liked. Number 15 was tech makes therapy more accessible. So there's app-based therapy options.
Yeah.
I thought may be good for you if you're trying to break into that acupuncture.
Yeah.
There's
So we gotta go-
Talkspace, BetterHelp, and Amwell.
Hear me?
Now, this is great. I think we should do this. We'll talk about this next time. But the rise of DNA travel. So people do like a 23andMe, and they're like, I'm gonna go to Italy because it says I'm 1/18th, 1/18th Italian. Anyway.
You can hear me?
Oh yeah, I can hear you. So I can't hear you if I'm talking. That's my thing.
I
All right,
thought I
well,
had
we're
to
gonna
go.
we're gonna wrap it up now. All right. So we'll catch you guys next Monday at 12 p.m. and we'll be back with more topics. And feel free if you have any questions on entrepreneurship or business ideas, email us at Ask Sasha and the Cat. Ask a question. Ask Sasha and the Cat at gmail.com. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Okay, bye. I'm leaving the meeting.
No, you can leave.
Okay, bye.
Did I end it?